smashed ya with the bichotazo from the back. I give a puti 17 pumps and then I splat. Cause when you give them good bicho, they don't know how to act. They be knocking on your puerta. Now well I'm mad like mira puñeta. Who the fuck's this puti puerca? Lito puppet wave. I said, my next booty better than my ex booty. Your next booty probably was my ex booty. But we ain't gonna talk about that. Cause I'm too busy over here just licking on the toto, licking on the toto. I said licking on the toto, licking on the toto. Word to abuela, I was eating that toto like arroz con habichuela. I said, she don't really want the bicho. She just wanna puppet eat the toto. She heard about my lengua and how I lick the totin like piragua. She know I got the tunguloso, but I only eat it if it's clean like fabuloso. You know, like the shit you mop the floors with, fabuloso. You know what I'm talking about, right? Man, fuck it. She don't really want the bicho. She just mad at baby daddy, and she know smashing me will make him angry. And she like the fact that it's 17 pumps and then splat. Cause she a savage. She wanna get it over with quick and then get back to her marriage. Booties everywhere, bad booties everywhere, booties everywhere. Said bad booty from New York. Told me papi eat the toto just like pork. I said bad booty from New York. Told me papi eat the toto just like pork. What you mean? Eat the totin like penne. I said okay, I'ma make the trip. Booty kinda thick with some fat toto lips, but she wanna kiss me, but I know she sucking bicho. Booty wanna kiss me, but I know she sucking bicho. Sucking bicho everywhere. Sucking bicho anywhere. Suck my bicho in the Uber, cause that booty doesn't care. Fellas, you ever give a booty that long bicho? You know what I'm talking about, that long bicho, not that lazy, half a bicho, you barely even doodle. I'm talking about that long bicho when you off the Henny or the Remy and you feeling wavy, booty looking all sexy, and you yang doodle, feeling like Fat Joe, like nothing can stop me, my bicho is all the way up. So, you start hitting it from the back, and then you just slip in, booty feeling in the stomach. They always got the same reaction, too. They be all looking back at you like, and then you just look at you all surprised, like, like they can't believe it and shit, like, where the rest of that bicho come from? You got an extra inch of bicho. I had to turn around, make sure it was still you. I thought somebody else was hitting it for a second. Like, where'd all this other bicho come from? Shit, if I would have known that, next time I'm getting you Henny every time if you gonna have this type of bicho.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. So basically, what I like to do once in a while, hey guys, how you doing? I like to kind of, show some of the stuff that influences me out there. There's a lot of little things out there that I get material from. Obviously, a lot of people add and help out. And Joselito the puppet, it's like a Puerto Rican guy out of like Connecticut or some shit. It's like he's funny. He's got fucking great material. He can rhyme, and he's on point. He's a hustler. So he's funny as shit. So if you follow him on Instagram, no, he didn't pay me to do this. This is 100% someone that makes me laugh. And maybe sometimes you could see some of him rub off on me because I think he's original. He's great. He's funny. I've never seen anyone and he hustles, dude. That fucking dude hustle. Yeah, the Puti Olympics. Hey, Crispy50 says the Puti Olympics. So he's a fan. So that guy has a thing called the Puti. A Puti's, a bitch. Puti, or, a side chick or whatever. And the Puti Olympics is great. He has real good skits. He's good people. So what are we going to talk about today, guys? That's right. That fat fuck who decided to show up, Mr. Shelby GT500, decided to take a, 6-year break. And in that 6 years, he did like Thor in Avengers Endgame, where he was a big fat fuck. And and just like in Avengers, Thor is less effective if you're fatter. So a lot of people saw that the Shelby, weight, the curb weight went up like 300 pounds or something stupid. A fully equipped S197 GT500 is close to touching 4,000 pounds, but this sucker was 200 pounds and then some on top of that. Now, a lot of people are hoping, 4225. A lot of people are hoping that this magical DCT transmission is going to all of a sudden negate the fat, the fact that it is fat. So the reason I, in my last video, said, man, this just doesn't excite me. It doesn't excite anybody, in my opinion, because it's so fat. In my opinion, you should definitely at least start with a lightweight car. That's the only reason the Corvette made me go, they got it. They are going down the right path. And once the Z51 with all the suspension bullshit and the Z06 and the ZR1 come out and they weigh under 3,800 pounds, it's going to be real hard. It's going to be real hard to beat that car for the price, period. Now, a couple of things have been found out about the new GT500 that it's kind of interesting. Number one, we know how much power it makes through the rear wheel, but we can't announce it yet. But get ready to be not so wowed. It's gonna be Hellcat numbers. Again, this car is already out there. The GT500 is already out there, and it's called the Hellcat, except the Hellcat has a nicer interior. It's a bigger car, of course, it's bigger. Hey, look, a lot of you guys that have never been in a well-equipped Challenger, get in one. Get in one. And then go ahead and saunter over to your GT, your base GT, and sit in it and go, damn, that car is nice. Now, some of you go, oh, I don't give a shit about the interior. I'm out there gapping motherfuckers with your air raid intake ass. So it's really not gonna, Greg F says, I think the GT500 makes 660 to 680. You're pretty close, actually. You're actually pretty damn close. So, but again, what did Roush RS3s make in 2015? 630 rear-wheel horsepower. So it's not necessarily something that makes me go, whoa. You know, it's like, all right, you know, they are who we thought they were. It's nothing spectacular. But look, you got to have something to talk about a little bit, because until the car comes out and actually runs a number anywhere, that's all we're going to do is speculate. But anyway, back on the Challenger shit. Get in a Challenger and go, I dare you to go, this interior sucks. Fuck no, it doesn't suck. And then you have the option of the newer Challengers, which are basically half of a trash can lid on the fenders, which they call in the wide body. I don't think the body's any wider. I think it's just a fender flare and a different offset of wheels. Now, I could be wrong on that. I absolutely could be wrong on that, where the actual body itself is wider, but I don't think so. I saw a wide body Scat Pack. First of all, I said why, because it looked like a red eye. But then you get closer and you're like, it's too bad. But the interiors are nice. And then you have the option of getting a 4-door badass ride. Oh, that's stupid, Alex. Is it really? Is it really? A 660 close to rear-wheel horsepower 4-door car that straight gets it pretty good and probably runs a 10 with minor mods. The Challenger is gonna be probably the main competition for the GT500, and it's had like a 3 or 4 year head start where it's actually pretty damn refined. I remember a buddy of mine, actually Jake from Power by the Hour, he was like, I don't like Hellcats, they're stupid. I'm like, dude, no offense, with a pulley, a lower, and an E85 deal, that thing gets it. It's a force to be reckoned with. Yes, it's a boat. Yes, it's big. Yes, it doesn't stop. Yeah, it don't handle for shit. But guess what? In a straight line, which is 99.9% of Americans, because Americans don't have a lot of skill. That's why the automatic is so awesome and sought after, because you just smash it to the floor and you can go, I'm fucking driver mod, bro. I beat you. Actually, the car beat him. A trained monkey that can cut a light can probably go just as fast as you in any automatic. Coyote Chris asked a question real quick. Said, "What's up, brother? Hope you're having a fucking good day." Question is, what do you think about the 2-inch primary headers for boosted applications? Too much? So Coyote Chris, the only time I think you need a 2-inch primary header is when you have like 11 to 1200 rear wheel horsepower. John Lund Sr. has a 14 GT500 with a 2.6 built motor, and he has 2-inch primaries. Now that's when you really got to get the air out of there, and those cars benefit from it so much. Now 1 7/8, you're good up until about 1,000. But once you get into that next level shit, 11, 12, 1300, that's that next level shit when you're like, I gotta go party and do 2-inch primaries. Why? Why? Do I think there's like a 50 horse difference? No. I just don't want the car being restricted in any way. So why bother? If you can fit a 2-inch primary now, American Racing, I believe Cooks and LTH, which is what is in Senior's car, are come in 2-inch primary. So they're actually pretty good. CX Javier says, you didn't mention that the GT500 will eat through consumables like candy on track because of weight. It will be expensive to run. Think about it, guys. Did you see the brakes on the GT500? The tires. Do you know how much the tires are going to be when you go 3 laps and you got to pull over because it's heat soaked to death because it has to stop, accelerate, and turn a 4,200 pound car? Tires are going to be fucked up. Brakes are going to be fucked up. Engine is going to have like the highest air charge temps, which I think they're measured as manifold charge temps, MCTs. A lot of you guys seem to be in the know because a lot of you guys are guessing exactly how much the new GT500 made. You know, kudos to you guys that are in the know. Very awesome because information gets spread real quick, real fast. So it's all good. Cuban Coyote, I've been helping him a lot trying to get his car to chop, but that car with some stage 2 blower cams just does not want to chop. So I'm like, dude, I'm going to stop trying. Your car is fucking fast. So it's a 200 shot Coyote. Cams, the car gets it. Says, thanks for the red brown eye gap tune. His car runs really well. Once we got everything dialed in with some giggle juice, the car was super minty and happy. So thank you, Cuban Coyote. I appreciate that. I want to say hi to the guys down in Puerto Rico, Rami Zaidan and the guys kind of down there. They've been like super supporters. Like once I put my t-shirts up on Teespring, they bought them up. They bought hats. I really appreciate it. Now, back on the t-shirt stuff. The only reason I put it up on Teespring is because so many people have been asking for merch and I kind of got sick and tired of waiting. I wasn't mad or anything. I was like, look, let me just put it up there on Teespring. So the good thing about Teespring is I don't have to do shit. You go out there. If you want to buy it, cool. If you don't, I don't care. But you can design just a bunch of shit. So then Frank Perdomo from Power by the Hour had some great ideas. And a gentleman on Instagram coined the phrase, the snack pack GT500. If you look at my latest post on Instagram, at YDBT for life, you'll see him mentioned in the story as to, he basically, when he said it's the snack pack GT500, I fucking lost it. And then I had Frank Perdomo make bacon strip burnout marks. We took 2013 non-performance pack wheels, which are really hard to find, and we photoshopped them on the scooter, and then we made the Cobra kind of fat. Do you know how hard it is to photoshop a fat Cobra? It's not that easy. So I hope you appreciate Frank Perdomo's work, and I do, and I said I'd cut him in on whatever shirt sales ended up happening. So let's get to some of the questions real quick, because you guys are right on it right away. TVS 5.0 says, will Lund tune FIC injectors? Trying to save money over the ID 1300s. But I know y'all prefer the ID stuff. Trying to put together the fuel system for HC built Coyote. Heads and cam? HC? Heads. Okay, I'm going to stop. Trying to put together a fuel system for HC built Coyote with a 13 GT500 TVS. 13 GT500 TVS? So what kit are you using? Like a Department of Boost kit? So TVS 5.0, your car is only going to be as good as the parts you put on it, the quality. We do support FIC injectors, but we support the 1650s, which are in my car, and the 1000Hs. That's it. And everything else, it's, we support D-Torque 95s, anything ID makes. And why do we support anything ID makes? Because their data is legit. To the point where if we plop in the data and it's proper for return or non-return setup, we know, and there's a fueling issue, and we know the math curve is legit, we can say it's mechanical. And shit, 99% of the time we're right. Unless someone loaded the wrong file, the wrong value file, or messed up a math curve or something. Usually it's dead nuts. So that's where we're pretty good. NG Nichols said, please check my paid question above. Here we go with the same shit. NG Nichols, looking at getting an Engage with you. I don't sell Engage, by the way. I have a 17 GT350. Need a better explanation on what I'm getting tune-wise. It's simply a 93 tune only. Well, it depends on what you want, NG Nichols. If you want a 93 only tune on a GT350, we can get you that. You can get, but the thing is, these cars have adaptive octane logic. So you can go 91 or 93 on the same tune and not have to change your tune to run 91 or 93. The car kind of learns, samples what's going on in the fuel via the wideband, just like it does with the Flex Fuel Tune. And it basically adjusts timing based on that, just like in stock. If you look at the stock brochure, it will say, like on a Coyote, like in 2011 when they came out in the brochure or in the owner's manual, it would say 87 octane horsepower rating and a 93 octane horsepower rating. Obviously, one was way lower than the other because either the knock sensors or the adaptive octane logic worked to get you the proper timing to, make the car run well with whatever fuel is in it. Now, if you want to bump up to a flex fuel tune, GT350s do not require any fueling upgrades in order to run flex fuel. Now, flex fuel, this is what you guys have to realize. Flex fuel doesn't mean E85. Flex fuel means pump gas and E85, or straight E85. It is flexible. It can do all three. You can run 93 forever, 91 forever. Then, if you have half of a tank of 93 or 91, you can get some E85. Boop, it will learn about a 40% or 50% ethanol content. Party with that. And then you can keep topping off on E85, E85, E85 until the car learns an 80 or 85%, whatever best ethanol you can find out there. And you don't have to change the tune at all. When my car is on a flex fuel tune, I just put the freaking Engage in the glove compartment box and just drive. And whatever I want to get, I get. 80, 85, 91, 93, it don't matter. So a lot of people are confused when they go, oh, I don't want a flex fuel tune. I want a dedicated 91 tune. I'm like, that's a flex fuel tune. Just drive the flex fuel tune, please. Please, 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 please. So that's really up to you what you want to do. You can do a 93 tune to start, drive it around, and if you live in Florida, 93 sucks, cocks, dicks. So if I were you, I would at least opt for the flex fuel tune later on. Keep the stock cold air. Do not upgrade the cold air on a GT350. It is wonderful. Leave it alone. Matthew Griff. Oh, G-Unit Silk City. You know why? Every time I see G-Unit Silk City, I got to say what's up to him. I love that name. G-Unit Silk City. Is a snake Mexican block 302 or dart? Is a snake Mexican block 302 or dart? He must be talking to someone else. Fuck it. Matthew Griffiths says, will Gen 1 heads from a Gen 3... Wait, will Gen 1 heads fit on a Gen 3 short block? Or do you need Gen 2 heads with a Gen 1 cam set? I know head gaskets will probably be an issue, but the Gen 2 short blocks seem to be getting harder to find. Ford is stopping... Ford stopped production of the Gen 2 short blocks. They're done. The only thing you can find out there is Gen 3. Now, I believe Manuel Gomez was the first to put a Gen 3 bottom end with Gen 1 heads. No, he did Gen 3 bottom end, Gen 2 heads, Gen 1 cam set. So he called it the 3-2-1. He was the first to coin that phrase, the first to do that down in Houston. I don't know which head gaskets he used. I just know that the Gen 3 short block and the Gen 2 heads worked, but I'm sure he had head gasket things he has to look up. But I don't know that for a fact, so you might want to hit up Manuel Gomez or take it to him and actually, instead of hitting him up as to what to use, actually get the car worked on by him instead of being that guy that says, hey, what's the part number you guys use? Thanks! And you hang up the phone. I hate people like that. Had a customer recently call a shop, ask for part numbers, and you know what? I think the shop was just like, here's the part number. Just, because here, just take it, go. Because then if they would have provided it, I'm sure he would have been up their ass. Sometimes you got to gauge your customers, and when I was a service writer down in Houston, I definitely would tell people certain part numbers depending on the call. Like if they just sounded like a fucking asshole, I'm like, you're a fucking asshole, but I didn't say it. I would just go, yeah, here's the part number, buy it from wherever, but don't come back. And don't ask me to install it, because if I install that shit, your damn skip is going to cost you more because I didn't make any money on the part. G Money says, after watching videos for the past few years, I finally bought a Luntune and can't wait to get home next week and start logging. Excellent, G Money. That's nice to hear. We are insanely busy. I don't know what the heck is going on. I don't know what's in the water out there, but this August is going to destroy like any August we ever had. And I thought people would be slowing down by now, but you know what? No, it was hectic Monday and Tuesday. It was super hectic. And I tried to do my best to, tread water, but look, business is good, so I can't complain. Hopefully, I'd like to think that I'm a bit of a help. I bump, some of the stuff, but I try not to nut ride because you guys are just like, oh, he's just nut riding Lund. Look, if I think Lund Racing does something wrong, I'll let them know, but so far they're doing everything right. Hell, they hired me, right? G Jesus, Senior. Well, see, that's why. Okay, Senior just Senior just hooked me up because, I don't know. Maybe I'm helping the company. I don't know. Well, thank you, Senior. I appreciate it, but you've paid me enough. And yeah, you can get it right in the Fairmont. By the way, Senior, that Fairmont is gonna be fucking nasty. I'm gonna release a video soon. I put some 275s in the back, and it's gonna tuck real fucking nerve, so it's gonna be nasty. I can't wait. I'm gonna get a Grip Tech pulley, like a 2.5 Grip Tech pulley, maybe a 20% lower, and I'm gonna send that shit. I'm gonna drive it on the street a little while before I go to the track because I want to get used to the car. It's gonna be a rowdy motherfucker, but tomorrow morning, like first thing, before I even work, I'm gonna work with Mike and get the coilover stuff set in the back, set the ride height, get some tubbing work done. It's going to be nasty. But thank you, John Senior. I appreciate that. And yes, you can drive the car. Hell, I'll bring it up there. If you guys do a rental before the end of the year and that car's running, I'll drive that motherfucker up there and all y'all can take a ride. It's a badass little ride. Craftsman says, can you provide more details on the 5.0 swap in the 3-valve car that PBH is working on? Very nice. Does it use a 3-valve PCM? Will the 6R80 be compatible? Thanks. So, Craftsman, this is, I can't really give up too much information, but that is Christian's future wife's car, Gina Mucciarino. So, Power by the Hour is working on a way to make a harness so that you can put a Coyote in any 3-valve and not have to mess around with the body harness or anything, meaning the engine runs, but all of your gauges work with one little harness. Boop. So that's what's going on. Now, when it comes to 6R80 swapping, that I think becomes a little more involved. But if I'm not mistaken, I think it's just a matter of a trans harness, engine harness that connects to the body harness, if I'm not mistaken. And then that'll make every 3-valve on the planet semi-cool again. Why is that? Relax, guys. I don't think 3-valves are cool. But I think this is what's going to happen. A lot of people like the retro styling of the 05 to 10 Mustangs. They're more retro. They look more like the 60s cars than the 11 and up. 10 and up. So, a lot of people like those cars. And if you really think about it, there's some pretty cool cars in terms of how they look back in the day. They had Windvale Blue, which I love. I love the green that came. It's like a puke booger green. They had Specialty Celine, which is what Christian has, a Celine Mustang or Saline. And they look pretty good. His is a mimic of Barricade from Transformers. Barricade. And then they had the Roush Mustangs, the P51s, all those cool 3-valve cars that were slow as dick can be cool again because of the Coyote and this Power by the Hour harness that goes, here you go. You can use your existing trans, your existing clutch, your existing everything. All that changes is the Coyote and the manifolds, and they should bolt up with a UPR like $150 H-pipe, and it connects to the stock stuff, and bada bing, bada boom, the bitch is done. So that's what Power by the Hour is working on, a harness to make 3-valve Coyote to 3-valve or S197 05 to 10 a breeze. And I think that's going to be real cool and popular because I got asked that by about 10 guys at the American Muscle Car Show. You know, I'd love to buy a new Coyote, but I really like how my 3-valve looks. What do you think is out there for me? And I'm like, just wait a couple months, brother. Just wait a couple months. You will be pleasantly surprised. Did he, Celine? I say running rich. What is going on here? Okay. Slow Yodi says, Alex, I just installed the 3.33 pulley on my Paxton. Dakota said boost drops after 6,000 RPM due to belt slip. Any recommendation? Aside from a Grip Tech pulley, which is becoming real popular, and 8-rib, that's kind of all your a badass tensioner, 8-rib or something like that. I think that's your ticket. But that's kind of all you can do. Or if a Grip Tech pulley on 6-rib will do the trick, look them up. Grip Tech pulley, Google it, look up Paxton setups, look it up. Because we had a guy with a Whipple 18 stock lower 3125 pulley run like 9.0 Grip Tech pulley. It in 6-rib, if I'm not mistaken. So I was like, shit, dude, that's pretty badass. You don't have to spend all that money on 8-rib because you know how expensive 8-rib kits are and 10-rib kits. And if a Grip Tech pulley, which is $200 or $150 or whatever, can negate you having to buy all that shit, Dude, win-win for everybody. Can you do a video showing the locked out versus non-locked out IMRC on a 17 manifold? There's no real video that I need to do. You're going to make a little less torque on a locked out IMRC car, but tuning is going to be a breeze, and I don't have to worry about, you know, if your harness is working right or anything like that. In my opinion, it's just a matter of locking them out to make everyone's life easier, because a lot of the harnesses that are out there simply don't work. For lack of a better word, they don't work. So we can chase issues, we can tell you how to pin it, we can do this, or you can just lock them out and be happy. There's no real reason to make a video, because all I'm going to do is cause, you know, look at the cold air video. The cold air video, people freaked the fuck out over. They were like, oh, why don't you test out a AEM versus a K&N, you know, all non-tune required cold airs. And, you know, I said, you know which one's going to win? The PMAS. Why? Because it's non-tune required and it has a filter, but it's 120, I'm sorry, it has a calibrated mass airflow sensor that comes with it, and it is 120 millimeter. That's going to win, period. So there's no reason for me to do all these tests when everything has a stock MAV curve. It's just a matter of how do you want it to look under the hood of your car. That's kind of all you're going to get out of that test. And what, you want me to ring out a car just to piss off like 2 or 3 companies at the same time? And some of those companies have deep pockets. So about the last thing I want to do is piss off any company. Okay, beautiful. This thing is putting the questions in a nice little spot for me so I can answer them easy for you. Sebastian Garcia says, can you please get into a bit of detail as to why the Gen 2 Coyote is superior over the 1 and 3? I never said the 3 yet. I have heard you mention Gen 1 cams blocks are better. Okay, so the Gen 1 blocks are better because you have deeper threads on the head bolts or head studs. You have deeper threads. On Gen 2, you have to drill them out, you know, get a deeper stud in there. The Gen 2 is basically a Boss engine. Let's just call it a Boss engine, okay? It's not a Roadrunner per se, but it is a rods and pistons that are way superior over Gen 1. The heads flow better. The cams are better. Everything is just better. And the Gen 2 Mustang has a tri-core computer, which you can rev to the moon, but recent things will change that for Gen 1, but I don't want Gen 1 guys thinking they can rev 10,000 RPMs on stock shit. You will fling that rod, baby. Those are for built badass motor guys, period. Now, Gen 3 is very good. The ticking is kind of what's pissing a lot of people off, but I still have yet to see a failure directly correlated with the ticking. Yes, I've seen pistons twist and fall, and that usually has to do with how some cars have 2 steps, and I think a certain coil is wired backwards from the factory, so you have to swap them, and that causes premature failures on big power cars. But I think the Gen 2 is just better overall. It's balanced, it's great heads. I think it came in a great car, great platform, and with a great control system. The Gen 3, it's new, but it's proven to be pretty badass. Guys are already going 8s. And who the hell thought that you'd be going 8s with blower cars 1 year after the car was introduced? Nobody. And that it's just badass. And with a clutch upgrade, that the car would be like fucking unstoppable. That's why people are saying GT500 with DCT, or an 18 to 19 Mustang with a Whipple, or a Edelbrock, and soon to be Magnuson / VMP blower and run badass numbers, or even a Vortec, or even a Paxton, or even Pro Charger. Cuban Coyote. Hey, oh man, where you at? Let me go in order here. Lexus Tech 48 says, hey Alex, 11 GT500, forged rods, pistons, NSR cams, headers, pump 100. Was big on Whipple 4.0, but fit under stock hood isn't a pain in the ass. On Senior's Gen 3R, how did boost hold to redline compared to the rumored Whipple Gen 5 for GT500? I can't compare it to something that it's rumored. I can only tell you what happened on that car. That car sustained boost all the way to the pull, but way at the top, it sort of trailed off. That doesn't mean that it was belt slip or ran out of air. I just think that's just kind of like the horsepower curve of that blower. It didn't just go straight up in a straight line like a turbo. It didn't trail off like it rounded off. It just kept making power. Actually, Senior let off at 8,000 RPMs on his built motor car. Now, I don't know if the Whipple Gen 5 is going to end up in a GT500. It's already out there for GT, so we have plenty of data to go by, and we know what it's going to make on a 9-to-5 compression car as opposed to a, 11-to-1 compression car. Imagine a Whipple Gen 5 making ported. You gotta port it, because in my opinion, if you're gonna have it on a built motor, you gotta port it to get every single, and you gotta wring that towel dry. It's going to make badass power. It's going to make great peak power. Will it make as much as a Gen 3 or Gen 3R? I don't know yet. It better, or at least it better be comparable, because it has to be. That's its competition right now. Imagine if all of the guys started aiming at GT500. Now, the problem is it's a very small market. Now, yes, it's lucrative, and a lot of the guys are out there, you know, they have money that to spend on the shit. But at the end of the day, it's really tough to ignore what's currently out there making big badass power. So I don't know. I can't compare it to the proposed Gen 5 yet, because I haven't heard anything about it. Cuban Coyote, hey, so I have a stock drive shaft and 800 horsepower DSX axles. When I was on motor, I would launch at 7,000 RPMs and cut 1.5. Would my car be able to do this on nitrous? You will pretzel that drive shaft. Now, if I'm not mistaken, 15 and up, just like 11 and up, have a two-piece drive shaft. Yes, I just haven't had a stock drive shaft in a car in a long time, and I just never get under my red car anymore. But yeah, you'll pretzel that bitch hardcore. It has a center bearing. You'll pretzel it. I don't recommend you launching on nitrous, which is like a 200 chop, on your car, because you will break that shit. Unless you have a slipping clutch and the clutch acts like a fuse. Alexander Raka says, I got a 14 MT82 LU47's Cat Delete. Lower control arms, PMAS cold air intake, 355 gears. I'm doing a bracket race. Why are you doing a bracket race? Okay, I'm about 3/10 short of the breakout. I removed all the seats mufflers. I removed all seats mufflers spare. What's next for 3/10-ish? Dude, it's bracket racing, dude. I love you, and you pay $10. I don't care. It's fucking bracket racing, dude. Who gives a shit? You can get a Chevy. If it's bracket or it's a heads up race with a breakout. That's what I don't understand. If it's a bracket race or if it's a heads up race with a breakout. That's what I need to know. It sounds like it's a straight up race with a breakout, which is different than a bracket race. Alonzo Pena. Where are you? Oh no, you got skipped. Here we go. Alonzo Pena. What's the highest you can rev a 14 GT with the PMAS tuned by Lund Go? 7,500 RPM. Okay, it's a stock cold air intake. I'm sorry, it's a stock. It's a stock manifold. So I wouldn't recommend higher than 7,500. If it's a CJ, 7,700, 7,800. But I wouldn't do it like the 8,000 deal. You know, I just don't see the need to rev it to 8,000. Honestly. Now, he's planning on getting a supercharger. He says, what do you recommend, a Whipple 2.9, Roush, or VMP? Any of those will get you squared away. A front feed Gen 3 2.9 seems to be pretty legit on Gen 1s. The Roush TVS Gen 2 is badass shit, and the VMP is also proven. The Psychotic One says, Alex, you tuned my car last week and runs fan-fucking-tastic. Thanks. I have a Brett Barber 18 manifold. I know the CJ is better, but is it $1,500 better? We're talking 5 horsepower or 20 horsepower gain of reported 18. Honestly, I wouldn't go that crazy for the CJ. The CJ is for those people that want to get every single ounce of power out of their naturally aspirated setup. Nothing else. Nothing else. So what I would do is port that 18 and get what you can out of it. And when you want to make more power, save up for boost and keep that 18 intake. Keep the IMRCs active in an 18. Keep the IMRCs active. It's already stocked. Just port it, bolt on the shit, plug the shit in the back. I don't have to change the tune. Why don't I have to change the tune? Because anytime additional airflow is seen by the mass airflow sensor, I don't have to do shit. The MAF just kind of does its thing and whoop, it sees more air. It compensates. If anything, I just got to look at a log, make sure it's good. And almost all the logs I've received back are A1 money. Nickel White's car fucking flies. Okay, Nickel White's car is a NA S550. And he's a big boy. He can drive, and he is out there grudge racing, guys. And that car is fucking flying. And his question is, you see my 1.4 60-foot on a 15-inch wheel conversion and a manual car on that fresh tune you set? No 17-inch rim here. Thanks, man. New personal best. So, Nickel White's one of those guys that says, I don't give a shit if it blows up. Give me all the fucking timing. I give him everything. Here it is, buddy. And that's what he wants, and that's all I do. Danny Venegas says, what's up? What's up, Danny? George Heitman says, recently got a tune from John Jr. on my 2016 Twin Turbo. Would like a tune to set to 12 pounds on e-boost, but start off at say 7 pounds to hook to a gradual build boost over 3 seconds without bumping setting menu. That's all it says. That's on you. That's boost controller. we don't control boost on turbo cars. You do. So get a badass boost control like an AMS 2000 or an e-boost, and I don't know how that shit ramps in, but that's something on you. The tune doesn't set anything boost-wise. It's just a timing ramp. You are responsible for boost. It is turbo. It is on your end. It's just like nitrous. You are responsible for the amount of boost going in your engine. So it is up to you to make that happen. Don Self sends me $10 and says, lap dance money. You know, the last time I went to a strip club, when was the last time I went to a strip club? Oh, dude, it was such a fucked up thing. I was working for VMP at the time, and Steve Gels, Mod Nationals, the first Mod Nationals, Tennessee. And I was there, and dude, the girls were smoking, but they look young as shit. And you're like, damn, you know, the girl's young. So I went with Travis from VMP. I'm going to tell the story. Fuck it. So I went with Travis from VMP. So Travis got like $50 in ones. Now, Travis was busting his ass all weekend at Mod Nationals. He was the only one. I was racing, and he was the only one tending to the booth, the only one loading and unloading. He did everything. Travis, I love you. Travis should be praised for what he did at VMP, and he is missed. Trust me, that guy is missed. So anyway, he ended up going to the strip club with me. Probably narking on him, but I don't give a shit. And we're hanging out, and then we wanted to leave. Let's get the fuck out of here. So there was a super hot chick up like on this, not the stage, it was like a side stage, whatever. So he had like a wad of wands with some maybe 20. And it's funny because he was winding up to throw it to make it rain on her, but she turned around, you know, they whipped their hair, and she turned around at the last minute. And when he threw it, she didn't see it. All she saw was dollar bills just raining around her. And when she looked back, she just saw like these other guys that weren't Travis, and we're like, oh, and she just stuck their, you know, just put their tits in their face, and, you know, and Travis was like, what the fuck? I threw that shit. I was like, dude, oh, she didn't see you throw all that money. And he was just kind of bummed out. Kind of funny. It was a good time. It was probably my best memory from all that mod. By the way, I won that race. I won driver mod. There was probably 4 people in that whole race. I will not win driver mod ever again because the minion is out there fucking everything up. George Heitman says, recently got a tune. Oh, I already asked that question. 03 Stang GT says, Joselito's probably the only one that will gap people with a fat stock 2020 GT500 with his weight. Yeah, dude. GT500s are going to need a diet right off the bat. They're going to have to, GT500 is going to come off the assembly line and get right on a treadmill. Right on a fucking treadmill. Hey, GT500, come over here, man. Hey, we got to talk. It's the only car that's going to need an intervention before a tune. It's like, hey, man, get over here. You're a fat motherfucker, dude. You really got to get it together. You got to get it together. You guys ever watch My 600-Pound Life on the Learning Channel? You're going to see the GT500 on that. But in My 600-Pound Life, you have to lose the weight first so that the doctor can then, you know, sew up your stomach. And I love the fact that the GT500 is so fat. Like, so much material was given to me this week. It's just been great to just kind of let it loose. Matthew Griffiths says, the best shit on YouTube all week, every week. What's the difference between a digital 3-relay trans brake, but I can't get an answer reaching online, but trust line, want to know what's up. Digital and 3-relay. Okay, I'm going to explain it the best way I can. Because I'm not that familiar with it, because I like superchargers and stick shift cars, and 3-relay trans brakes and bumping in is the gayest shit on the planet. I don't like controlling clutches via the tune. Meaning, I'm not a big fan of having a digital, like I'm not going to name names or name companies because that's just going to get me in trouble. But I prefer relays do the work. You know, just you're actually clicking things off and you're controlling it externally as opposed to through the tune, because this is the only reason I come up with that assumption that digital aren't as good as a 3-relay setup. I am at power by the hour 2 to 3 times a week. They rebuild 6R80s like it's going out of style. And they get one in and they're like, what the hell happened? And they're like, well, I got this quote unquote digital trans brake, and the clutches looked burnt as shit. And then Lund Racing sends down the Blue Goose's transmission, who he's been on the chip for hours. You know, I think he did a burnout at ModNat, and then he got up on the chip and crawled his way to the line when he raced Jim Brom. And he got back. He got the trans back. Jake took it apart. It's like, thing is mint. Now the biggest difference that I see that happens is clutches get burned up. Now, I don't know if it's not applying enough pressure or the wrong clutches are getting applied in the tune, which clutches get applied, which clutches get released, and how the bump takes place. But from what I can tell, the digital setup isn't as good as relays controlling it externally from a tune. Now, I don't know what the difference is structurally, but I'm telling you that I've seen a lot more burned up transmissions with a digital trans brake than a 3-relay setup. Okay. Wow, you guys are getting after it with the questions. Holy shit. Chad D. Thunderglock says, thanks for the shirt, Alex. 17 manual car with Edelbrock 2.3 liter that you tuned. I did? Oh, shit. I did. I think that car had a... Did you go with a VMP? No, I don't know if you went with a VMP later on. Do I need a revision to step one step up, one size pulley? Seeing too much boost for 93, 13, 14 PSI often. Yeah, bring it down. Bring it down. You don't need a revision. For less boost, you don't need a revision. Sometimes even for more boost, you don't need a revision. But I want to make sure that if you're on pump gas, that you have enough octane. That's why I ask for a data log. Any difference if I tune for C85 instead of E85? You're going to run maybe a hair leaner because I think C85 it's very slightly less dense, but it's oxygenated, so it's going to have more power. Rami Zaidan, 9 times out of 10, he's on an E85 tune and he puts C85 in it, and it's fine. It trims about 5%, so I leave it alone. But when he's like, Alex, I'm on a dedicated C85 tune, I make sure the stoic is different. Depends on who you talk to. The stoichiometric air fuel value for E85 is 989 or 9.85. C85, I think it's in the low 9s or high 8s. The lower the number, the less dense. The higher the number, the more dense. So 14.0 is denser than 9.85, meaning molasses, thicker. That's the only way I can kind of let you know what dense means, because some of you guys are fucking dense. Alex, I have a 19. Okay, Martin Q says, Alex, I have a 19 Mustang automatic, PMAS tune required, ported manifold, Texas speed long tube headers. Man, Texas speed long tube headers have taken off. All you see is motherfuckers buying that shit, and they always tell me the same shit. It doesn't have provisions for the rear O2s. I'm like, why'd you buy that? Engine 7/8, free flowing exhaust. E85 full drag pack. Any suggestion on what to do the next stall converter or one-piece drive shaft? Stall converter, stall converter, stall converter, stall converter. Get a stall converter. Get like a 3C if you're going to stay naturally aspirated, or if you're going to eventually go boost, a 3C or like a 2B or something like that. I mean, they have new stuff coming out all the time, so hit up Circle D and let them know what you got going on, and they will build you the best one. Because when I sent Senior's converter down, they resized it to a TVS setup, and it was perfect. MOH says, D1SC Stage 2 Pro Charger, I'm so sorry, versus a 3-liter Whipple with an oversized heat exchanger in 45-degree weather, 113 Fahrenheit, horsepower goal is 700, better IATs, S550, 2015. Depends on boost, honestly. It depends on boost. The 3-liter Whipple, it has a very good heat exchanger and a very good intercooler. The heat exchanger is that thing in the front, and the intercooler is that thing on the top of the blower. And they're very good, and they're very efficient. So does Edelbrock. The Stage 2 Pro Charger also has a halfway decent intercooler. It's pretty good. It depends on how much boost you push through it. The more boost you're going to push through it, the more heat you create. Just people say they pulley down, and they're like, I don't get it. I pulleyed down and it made more, I saw less power. Right, because the IAT retard fucking took away 3 degrees because it hotter air. The more boost, hotter air. So you have to then cool that air charge. So I think depending on boost, but if it was up to me, I would get 3-liter Whipple over the Pro Charger, like always, if you know me about it, Pro Charger. Miguel Lucio says, Alex, do you see more data logs than most people? Senior sees a lot of data logs. And Dakota and Brandon. Alex, you see more data logs than most people. What blower performs better? VMP 265, Whipple Gen 5, Edelbrock 265 performance, and stays cool. The front feeds are kind of king. Okay, front feeds are king. The front feeds have a larger area for a intercooler. Okay, plain and simple. The Gen 5 Whipple has a very big brick on the top. So does the Edelbrock front feed. The VMP 265 is rear feed, and the intercooler is about half the size. And no matter how much boost you push through it and how much you heat exchange it, the front feed has just more area for intercooling. So those will be your best bet, in my opinion. Alex, do I need a tune for headers on a 16 S550? If you're already tuned by us, no. If you are not tuned, It's a good idea to have logs sent in, and then we'll make sure that the O2 sensors are acting properly and active and seeing a good signal, and then we'll be able to send you on your way. And if it needs to be revised, we'll revise it. Aqua Control says, spent 2K on one girl at a strip club recently. Also, does E85 in my base Focus do anything other than burn really clean? Yeah, I mean, E85 is going to allow for better timing. Don't say cooling, because everyone goes, cools it. Okay, it's not measurable, but yes, it will burn cooler. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to make sure that your fuel system is adequate. But yes, E85 in anything that can run E85 is highly desirable. Ronald Taylor says, always the most entertaining Coyote guy on here. Also the most honest. Thanks for all the info putting on your beloved Pro Chargers in next week. I'm sorry, Ronald. Look, Pro Chargers are fine. I just have a preference, but I tune Pro Charger cars all day. Now, if you were to ask me, Alex, what are the people buying? What are the people buying? What is the biggest selling supercharger setup out there? Honestly, it's Vortec and Paxton. From what I've seen, it's Vortec and Paxton or right to turbo. People are going Vortec, Paxton, turbo. I don't see people go VMP, Whipple, Paxton, or Paxton, VMP. They go Paxton, boost the shit out of the Paxton, then they go right to turbo. And those cars seem to be performing pretty well. And the Paxton head unit is like a V7 JT. It's a badass motherfucker. It's just the bracket setup sucks dicks. So, yeah. River City Racer says, love the channel, Alex. Have you ever tuned an E250 work van? It depends on what motor's in it. We could use a little extra sauce to go carpet cleaning jobs faster. Do you work for Rotor-Rooter? No, not Rotor-Rooter. What's the other guys? Stanley Steamer. Stanley Steamer up in the Northeast was like full of these yellow vans. Now, if it has like a 5.4 or a 5.43 valve or something like that, I mean, it can get tuned technically as long as it's something that SCT or we have access to. But if we don't have access to the calibration, we can't do shit. What RPM do you recommend me launch at with a stock drive shaft? It depends on your tire and how the suspension is set up, okay, and what tire you're on. If you're on a slick, like a 26-inch slick or even a 27-inch slick, you can launch as high as the track will bear. I used to launch my VMP car at 6,800 RPM, way up there. But I had a 28-inch tall tire. I had a 10-inch wide tire. I had real good suspension, and it was cutting 141s a stick. So it all depends on how the car is treating you, and you have to kind of gauge it, right? You can say, oh, it's bogging, so let me launch higher. Or maybe play with tire pressure because you want a little tire spin on a slick as opposed to a drag radial. If it's a drag radial, dude, you're going to have to slip the clutch and learn to slip the clutch. And the clutch is going to be the sacrificial lamb. It's going to be worn on launch. Think of it like a torque converter. Same thing. Eric Batchel says, 1-800-STEAMER. Call Stanley Steamer to get your home cleaner. See? He knows. He is from my neck of the woods. John Lund. Eventually, Alex will put a JT trim self-contained on Vortec on the 19. Yes, that is literally on a shelf. It's just Fairmont is taking much of my time, and the tuning is out of control. I cannot get a free minute. But I'm going to try to put it on hopefully by next week. But, man, I got so much shit going on. It's just not even funny. Raul Lopez says, anyone have any ideas as to why my 2011 18 GT with an 18 manifold PMAS intake LU47 Z85 is having surging issues at cold idle only? Throttle body is clean and it's throwing no codes. I don't know. I mean, E85 is the guy right there. If your car is in colder conditions, meaning it's 40, 50 degrees in the morning or 60, it might have a little tougher time starting in the morning. But that's at cold idle only, right? The car's trying to heat up. So this is what happens. A lot of the times people mod the shit out of their car and they go, he just named off all the modifications. E85, this and that. And they're like, hey, Alex, my apartment complex doesn't like loud cars. So can you tame down the cold start? So the way we do that is some cold start spark tricks. But guess what happens? By taming down that cold start, now the car doesn't heat up as fast. So what does it do? It turns on in the morning and it goes, instead of going vroom, that low rumble for cold start, then it goes, now it starts and it goes vroom, then it goes because it's trying to heat up. Okay, there are a couple things that are kind of working against each other. The short trims are pulling fuel in. Removing fuel out because it runs off of a base cold table. and then cold start spark comes in that you negated because you wanted to have Corsa Extremes in a real nice neighborhood in a nice area, and guess what? Now we're doing two things to counteract each other. So I honestly I'm starting to tell people this. Oh, your cold start sucks? Well, get quieter mufflers. Oh, but. No, seriously. Because what I'm going to do is chase my tail for 15 revisions, because by taming down the cold start, the car acts kind of funky, and then I have to mess with fueling, and then that also fucks up, warm start. So there's a fine line as to where cold start and warm start kind of intersect, and then I have to guess as to where, oh my God. It's just not something any tuner is looking to do. Now, I'm sure a couple of tuners out there that hate on a motherfucker are like, you're not a real fucking tuner. No, it's just that, honestly, get quieter fucking mufflers, okay? Stop being a child and wanting to be noticed by everybody with your loud fucking Corsa Extremes or your pipe bombs or whatever the hell you got going on. If you're an adult and you live in a complex that don't like noisy shit, be responsible and stop having noisy shit. Oh, you fuck you, man. Flip your neighbors the bird. Yeah, I would never do that because I am considerate. Out of most things, I am a considerate dude. I'm not a fucking asshole, and I'm not going out there, yeah, fuck, check this out. Blah, 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 blah. Fuck that you have a job. Fuck that you work third shift. Blah. No. No. I go, holy shit, this car's loud. Let me be quiet. Let me park it somewhere far so that if I do start it, I don't bother anyone. I'm super considerate. Brian Winsett says, 13 GT500 max effort build, VMP Gen 3R or 4.2 Kenny Bell. VMP Gen 3R. When you go in turbo, YOLO? Not until I somehow need it. I mean, if the Fairmont runs in the 8s, maybe 850, maybe quicker if I can get about 1,000 horse out of it. I don't really think I'm going to go turbo. Why? Because then I'd have to fucking start over and build another $7,000 to $8,000 kit, mount everything, boost controller, different converter. It's just like, no. If I run 8 something, dude, I'm happy, and I'm not looking to go turbo. Now, if a turbo kit happens to fall out of the sky, not that I'm asking for one, but if it happens to fall out of the sky, the red car can get it. That red car can get a turbo kit, and I will blow it up. I don't give a shit. I don't care about this. Look, I love the car, and I want to go 10s NA eventually. Once winter comes, which is what we wait for here in Florida. We wait for winter because 70 degrees is nice. Right now, it rains every afternoon, so we really can't do shit. Brett McKinney says, Roush Axlebacks with off-road exhaust, that will take your neighbors. That will wake your neighbors. Yeah, so I had Corsair Extremes for about a month, and they were gone, and I put stock mufflers back in the bitch. I was so happy. Are turbos fun for the street? Hell yeah, you can, look, turbos are top dog. I'm not stupid, okay? Boost for boost, they're badass. So at the end of the day, they're fun. Now, do you like waiting a little bit for power? No? Okay, then get smaller turbos. You want top end and low spool times, and then you got to think about, anti-lag. I'm like, oh my God, just get a blower and shut the fuck up. Anyone know why my 15 car pedal gets squishy on highway runs above 7,000 RPMs? The car's clutch does not allow you to release. Okay, so what happens is the pressure plate and the clutch assembly are just squishy and nasty. So I don't know exactly what happens mechanically. I just know that the clutches love to fail and not even disengage so that you can go into gear. And that's what breaks most MT82s. What breaks a lot of the MT82s is you not getting it into gear because the clutch does not disengage fast enough. RS3 for me says, hey Alex, 2017 Roush Stage 3 MT82 tuned by Dakota. Took the car to the drag strip, second time out. Car was bogging bad. After the last run, I don't hear belt noise. Thoughts? Check your belt. You pay me $10. Okay, so first of all, RS3 for me. I don't know what year. I'm trying to look at the picture. It looks like an S197 Roush. Now, you probably have a stock clutch in there, I think. So disabling traction control is something that you have to do. If it's bogging, it's good. That means it's hooking. You just need more RPM. But with more RPM comes more problems, okay? More RPM means, other things are going to get stressed out, because if the car doesn't bog, spin, it's going to find the weak point real quick. You're going to break something, or the car will just launch badass until something does decide to break. In my opinion, if I'd need to know the tire you're running, pressure, suspension setup, and I can give you a better detailed answer. But if you're having belt slip issues and belt noise, you got to slip and belt. I don't know what pulley you got. I don't know what fuel you're running. Nothing. Rev matching. Lund Racing. Can the 2018s be tuned to perform rev matching? No. The 2018s are missing a critical sensor. So I think the 2018 manuals have a top of travel and bottom of travel sensor on the 18 clutch pedal. The 19s have everything, like top, middle, it's almost like a range, a voltage range of travel. So that allows the car to know when the clutch is being depressed and how much it's being depressed, meaning, pushed. For those of you that don't know what depressed means, it's not like the clutch pedal is sad, like the Fat GT500. That might have been it. Maybe it just got so fat because it just ate nonstop. Bullet only has it, so maybe the 18 Bullet has it, and the 19 and up GTs have it. Chris Solo says, 13 GT looking to go into a Paxton or a VMP TVS. What do you recommend, and what's my Gen 1 motor limit? Gen 1 motor limit, 650 wheel, 710, 720, E85, and you will chuck a rod anytime after that. It all depends on when you want your power to come in. Paxtons make more top end than a VMP. VMP makes way more bottom end and a lot more fun to drive, just town hooning. So, it all depends on when you want the shit to come in. Guitar Man says, I have an 05 GT with an Otterbox supercharger. I hate the throttle wire. Is there a way I can put a cable or a linkage on it? No. I love answering in one word. No. Why not? How will you control it? How will the car know, throttle position? How do you shut it off? And then what do you run off of? Just opening and closing of the blade? That's not how it works. RS3 for me says, I have a Manta clutch. Mickey Thompson ET Street 19 PSI race gas. Dude, it must be your suspension. If it's hooking, higher RPM, right? If you have Vikings, you set the compression a little higher than the rebound. And if you have front Vikings or front adjustable suspension, put that bitch rebound loose, compression high, and party. Are Steeda bushing inserts any good? Been seeing the hardware break recently and dropping the diff. I've seen every manufacturer, every suspension manufacturer that makes that part has had failure. So it all depends on the install, but I have not been made familiar with any of their stuff breaking. I think the Blue Goose, has a lot of Steeda parts on it, mostly Steeda and some UPR. So if they haven't broken on that, it has to be installed. Rami Zaidan says, what's your opinion on the N2MB? So the Watt box. So the Watt box, to me, you could use it for spooling, turbo bullshit. Or if you can't drive for shit and you have to rely on a Watt box to cut spark or cut throttle, whatever the fuck it does, so you can get it into the next year. Oh, but Alex, it unloads the transmission. Right, so does breathing on the gas when you shift. This little dance. Not the Watt box, let me just Watt box. Fuck you, we do Watt box. No offense, Rami. But for auto guys, some use it as a two-step. Hey, Alex. Tyler Lubart says, hey, Alex, I recently bought a 350, GT350, and the previous owner installed the JLT cold air intake with a Lund tune. IATs are around 40 degrees ambient at idle. Should I install the stock cold air intake back on? Yes. But look, the stock cold air intake is also open air element, and it's not closed, but it's just in my opinion, it has a better shield than anything out there. Why? Because Ford is a $1 billion company and actually developed a shield that actually seals it halfway decent. Would the 350, someone said, would the 350 at $45,000 make a good daily driver if it's left stock, or should I buy another Coyote car? Buy another Coyote car, dude. The 350 to me is kind of like, imagine, I don't know, I'm trying to give you a good example of something that's kind of sad. If you relegate a 350 to daily driver duty. Daily drivers, you're gonna get nicks, scratches, curb shots. You're gonna fuck that car up because it's daily driver duty. So I think the 350 deserves a little better than that. But if you can swing and you got the kind of money, I get it. It's kind of cool to be like, that's my daily right there. Fuck yeah, GT 350. It's my fucking daily. Fuck it. I get it. I got a 19 GT as a daily. So maybe I'm a fucking hypocrite, but I know to expect chips, dings, and shit on it, and it already has a couple of chips on the hood. I'm not stressing it. But yeah, I mean, it'd be a fun daily, but it'd be a better track car. Joshua Miles says, what is the maximum horsepower on my stock '08 Shelby GT500 blower? Boy, if you get 520 out of that thing, you're doing good. Like ported, Stegmeyer, fucking all that shit. Dude, 520, 530. If that. I'm saying all the shit. And it'll do it once. Because the next pull will be hot as fuck. It'll sound cool, though. Rami's out there laughing. Budget friendly, too. Okay. Sabino Guzman. 2018 10R80, Stage 2 Edelbrock. Hey, Alex, I got my 1050X. What fuel system level do you recommend for the 4 innovations for 850 horsepower? I noticed there's different levels. So, whatever, I think it's a level 2 or level 3, 2 pumps. All you need is 2 pumps. I think they sell 300s or 400s pumps. But get one with the FIC, with the FC2 controller. If it's a dual hat, if it's a triple hat, it'll be called an FC3 controller. But if you're going to grow with that car, Sabino, just go all out, because what's the difference between a stage 2 and 3 or level 1, level 2, level 3? Get at least dual pumps, because with 2 pumps, you'll be able to support 1,000 wheel pretty easily. 3 pumps is when you're at that badass level of 1,300 horsepower, 1,200 horsepower. Like the Blue Goose has a triple pump 4 Innovations fuel system. Now we're almost out of pump, but luckily I think T1 or someone is making is it T1? I forget, but I know that 4 Innovations offers pump upgrades that fit on their hat, but then we have to just jack up the fuel line or whatever. So we're running Q16. We want to eventually run back on ethanol on the Blue Goose, and that's going to be a bad motherfucker because it's going to make a little more power, because we were not on ethanol when we did the record run. It was like Q16. Crispy50 says, I have a 19 Gen 3 10R80 tuned by John Lund on the 85. Does turning on drag mode make a difference if I'm already tuned? So the quickest cars we've seen run on regular normal mode in drive. And you can put it on drag mode and it's all, retained in the tune. We don't take it away. But sometimes on blower cars, we force drag mode. So in drive, it's going to be badass. It's going to be the best you can get. In a naturally aspirated form, you might be able to gain something by the raised pressures that are in drag mode. But I've seen the quickest cars that we tune, that are 10-second NA cars, go the quickest in, I think, regular mode in drive. Maybe John Lund Sr. will step in and correct me if I'm wrong. Boy, you guys are... And I like that John Lund is out there answering questions. I appreciate that. He's in the middle of a big move. Oof, we bought a building up there. He's moving around. He's doing a lot of shit. I don't even know if he has time to do this shit. Thank you, though. Appreciate that very much. Will it need a retune if I go from the JLT back to stock? Absolutely. Guys. I hear this all the time. Hey, Alex, I'm going to change cold airs. Do I need a tune? Yeah, that is the most crucial component of fueling in any late model Mustang, unless they go speed density. Speed density, like EcoBoost, you can shove a trash can on that bitch. You can shove the throttle body. You let the throttle body suck in air from anywhere. It is speed density because it goes MAP in the manifold. But an air MAF equipped car, MAF, mass airflow sensor, mass airflow, those cars, anytime you change the diameter of the tube, you need a new tune. And then I hear, this is the other thing that I start hearing people say. Hey, Alex, do you want me to data log the car before I put the parts on? Well, what the fuck's that going to show me? If I sent you a tune for an LU47 and JLT or a PMAS or an air raid or a Steeda intake, what the hell is a stock cold air intake non-injector log going to look like to me? Lean as fuck. I'm sorry, rich as fuck, because it's going to be pulsing for stock injectors with bigger injectors, and it's going to be fueling for a bigger mass airflow housing than the one you got. I don't understand that question. Hey, do you need a log on this tune before I put the parts in? No. No. What the fuck are you doing? Joshua Miles says, dang, bro, you're the realest ever. I appreciate everything you do. Thanks for the answer my question. Everyone else is you're real as they come. Real talk, homie. You're stand-up dude. Man, there you go, bro. Fist bump. Jay Rubin, if the car has mag ride, drag mode helps. If you have Magna Ride and you're drag racing the car, you're fucking stupid. If you're out there drag racing a car that has Magna Ride, you'd probably be better off with a base model. I hear that a lot, too. Some guy bought a PP2 Mustang, and he's like, hey, what do you think about? I'm like, dude, if you were going to go drag racing, you should have just bought a base model. I don't know why you got a Magna Ride. Make sure I didn't miss anything. John Doe says, max rear wheel horsepower for 14 Mustang GT Manual 93 and NA. What? Also, what mods you recommend to reach that number? I don't even understand the question. Max rear wheel horsepower for a 2014 Mustang GT manual with 93 and NA. What mods? What cold air? What manifold? Does it have headers? I don't know. That's a weird question. It's a weird question. I've seen 400 on a pretty close to stock vehicle with the tune with really good fuel. With an 18 manifold, 420, 430 with a Cobra Jet manifold with headers, maybe 440. But dude, that is such a broad question that it's not just a one-word answer. And oh yeah, 350 and on this 85. Come on. 37H550. Oh my God. I don't know what the fuck I don't know his name. I'm sure it spells something, but it's just too much. I bought stage 3 cams for my 14, CJ, Monoblade, JLT, JBA, blah, blah, blah. Do I limit them or not? Been getting 50-50 opinions. Limit them. Just limit them, because the last thing I want to do is someone install them fucked up and slam shit, and at least the limiters will prevent the piston from slamming them back up into the head. Limit them, okay? Because when you're revving with a CJ anyway, your power comes in well past 5,000, 6,000 RPMs, and the phasing up there is not going to really matter as opposed to way down low to get you going. So limit them. If you don't limit them, there's a little left on the bone, but barely noticeable. It's not like you're leaving 40 horsepower on the on the table. You're more than anything leaving some torque on the table. And I'm not going to explain why. Just listen to me. Rick Wilkinson says, John Lund, would you please do a video of your Cobra and how to get it to run on the 5.0 computer? I think I already did that. You make it a GT500. You make it a GT500 with an automatic swap. That's it. You make it a GT500 with an automatic swap. Just like Power by the Hour builds GT500s with automatic swaps, you tune it like a Coyote. You have to make it a return style fuel system. So it is a Coyote computer with GT500 engine harness and 6R80, with a Coyote, I think, trans harness, all mated together. So that's how you make it run. You're welcome. He doesn't have to make a video. He's got way more shit to worry about than making videos for that shit. But if I go up there and he wants to talk about it, we'll see what we can do. Randall Hadid says, hi, Alex. With regards to the cold air intake, is there a correlation between high CAI temps and cylinder head cooling temps? Any real reduction in temperatures when intakes are wrapped with cool tapes, heat shielding? Actually, Randall, yes. I have seen a lot of people wrap it, and I made fun of it at first, and then I started going, that might actually work. And then I think Frank Perdomo did that on his car. And not only that, but he placed the mass airflow sensor or the filter outside of the engine bay, and the car immediately saw an improvement in IATs. Now, do high IATs equal high cylinder head temps? Well, think about it. If you're sucking in 70-degree air temp, right, versus 120, don't you think that the engine will then be slightly hotter? So the air charge temp does have a lot to do with the cylinder head temp, because you're introducing heat into the engine. So I'm sure it correlates to slightly higher air cylinder head temps, which is how the car measures coolant temps, basically. John Lund says it will burn not hot enough to produce 350 horsepower of heat. Okay, so Major Wright says, I ordered a Whipple today. Congrats. He goes, no, don't diss the 302, John. Okay, so they're having a good time over there. Excellent. So what I wanted to talk about real quick, guys, today was also, before it gets out of hand, is the stupid fucking Godzilla motor. So the Godzilla motor all of a sudden has Fox Body guys reliving the 80s and 90s, listening to fucking Skid Row and Poison, and they're like, fuck yeah, it's happening, there it is, fuck yeah, it's over, Coyote's over, Godzilla's coming, it's gonna do. Do you know what Godzilla owner or Godzilla swap advocates sound like? They sound like LS owners. They sound like LS owners. Now let's see why. So for the whole time, since the beginning of time, we Ford guys have gone off the fact that we have a little 302 and it kicks everything's ass that Chevy made that had bigger cubic inches. Oh my God. Oh, I got 302. You need a 350. I got a, 5.0, you got a 5.7. Oh, and then the LS came out and is actually pretty stout. Oh, but it's bigger. Of course it's bigger. And then the Coyote came out. Oh, it's 5 liters versus 6.2. So, versus 7.0 versus 6.2 supercharged. And then Ford decides to bring out a truck engine, and Coyote guys that have been dormant during the Coyote years that went, man, I hate 4 cams. That's some stupid shit. I like 1 cam in my block. 1 cam in my block. Nope. It came out, and people were like, oh, this is it. We're back. They're fucking mullets, which are now skullets, are back, and they're like, oh, fuck yeah, here it is. We're gonna Godzilla swap the world. Godzilla swap the world? You are sounding like LS owners. Why? Because now you're saying the same shit LS owners say. It is 7.3 fucking liters, guys. 7.3. And now all of a sudden you're saying displacement. Displacement 7.3, and it fits in a Fox body. Why is the Godzilla even on my fucking Facebook feed? This is why. Ford paid a couple of riders to say, hey man, this truck engine, we're gonna shove it in a Fox. Probably gonna fit, probably gonna make decent power, but we just want you to prop up the engine so that when it comes out in a truck, people know about it. And then my suspicions were confirmed the moment people started saying, oh, I can't wait for these to show up in junkyards. I'm like, oh my God. That's what LS guys say. LS guys are like, man, I can go to the junkyard, get a 5.3 and run a wire wheel down the fucking bitch and make 1,000 horsepower. So Ford guys are waiting for the 7.3 to be in a junkyard to then swap it. So then it'll be a 7.3. It'll be a 7.3. Guys. There are motors out there right now that'll do that. Right now that will do that. And some people are going, well, the Coyote is physically bigger. I understand. But the 7.3, it takes 7.3 liters of push rod power and cam and block to make about the same what a Coyote makes right now. And it revs to about a whopping 6,000 RPMs if you're lucky. And then people are starting to say, well, I can't wait till Scorpion starts making rockets for them. It's going to be the new B cam. Actually, it should be called the G cam for Godzilla. Oh, I can't wait to shove a G cam in it. The alphabet cams are going to come back. The E cams are going to come back. Emissions, E303, B303, Z303. Shut the fuck up with your stupid Godzilla bullshit. It's a truck motor, and yes, it might make some power in a Fox body. It'll make some power in anything, but this swap is already out there. It is called the LS swap. It's out there. If you want a above 6 liter pushrod engine to go into anything, it's already out there. It's called the fucking LS swap. And you guys are all of a sudden getting all up in arms about a Ford version. The only people who are getting all up in arms about this shit are Ford fan fucks that just think Ford can't do anything wrong. The fucking stupid 7 point. How come nobody's shoving 6.2 Raptor engines in anything? Why isn't anyone shoving 6.2 Raptor engines in anything? Remember the V10 Triton? Why isn't anyone shoving that shit in there? But all of a sudden, a 7.3 is like the swap king? Get the fuck out of here. They're trying. Look, I get it. It's going to be great for trucks, for an F-250 to have torque and halfway decent fuel mileage so you can tow your stupid fucking party boat to the ramp 3 times a year that you do it, and it's a pain in the ass to do it, and you can't steer it properly. So you'll be able to pull that piece of shit out of the water easier with a pushrod engine. But all of a sudden, you guys are freaking psycho about this engine. You guys are on crack. There's already a big cubic inch swap out there. It's called the LS swap. So if you are hating LS swaps but loving the 7.3, you're fucking literally contradicting yourself. You're contradicting yourself because it is a big inch or big cubic inch motor in a lightweight car, which is literally what the LS guys love, even though the 4.8 is the bigger, the more popular swap. But if you want 6 liters and up, just get an LS. It's cheaper and it's there now. Now, I'm not an advocate for LS swapping anything, and I think the Coyote swap is excellent. Is it expensive? Absolutely. Is it technologically advanced? I mean, what are we going to do? We went from cam and block from in the 80s to, and then in 96, we went to 2, so think about it. Think about this. Think if somebody was telling you this was happening. They said, hey, Alex, it's 1990. Let's say this is 1995. This conversation's taking place in 1995. Hey, man. I hear Ford's going to go overhead cam. Oh, What? Why? Why are they going to go overhead cam? I don't know. It's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid, man. So I don't know what's going to happen. So I don't know. We'll see. Then the 96 Mustang comes out and it sucks dick. And everyone goes, oh, what a piece of shit. And then you go, hey, we're going to put more cams in it. We're going to, instead of going to go 2 cams, we're going to go 4 cams. And you're like, well, maybe that'll work. Then the 96 to 98 Cobra happened. And the Mach 1 happened in 03. Then, hey, we're going to put a blower on top of the 4-cammed engine. And you're like, okay, and make what? Well, 400 horsepower. And then you go, you know what? The 4-cam idea didn't work, so we're going to go back to 1 cam, but 3 valves. So we're going to go 1 cam, 3 valves, because 2 and then 4 cams and 4 valves didn't work. So we're going to go to 2 cams and 3 valves. Yep. Okay. Then the Coyote came out and guys just quit. Right? Fuck it. I'm not going to try to explain this. Then imagine that happened. And then in 2019, you say, dude, Coyote's over. Back to cam and block, bitches. 1 cam, 2 valves, push rods, fucking heat. What the hell happened? What happened? Like, what happened? People started embrace. Why don't we just start making fire with sticks and stones there again? It's more efficient. Fuck is going on with this Godzilla bullshit? So yeah, I'm just confused. Now, people think I'm like a Coyote nut hugger. Are you insane? Are you insane? I'd love to have me a pushrod, badass built fucking, what are the NASCAR engines that rev to 9,800 RPM and make 800 naturally aspirated horsepower? I'd love that shit. I can't swing it. But the Coyote right now is king, and it with no modifications, you can make 1,000 horsepower with a lot of boost and a lot of ethanol, and you'll do it once or twice, and you can sustained make 800 horsepower. But all of a sudden, I gotta be excited over a 440 horsepower, 400 plus foot-pounds of torque, 7.3. Fuck out of here. There's my rant for the day. Holy shit! Whew. Damn. Actually, the Godzilla motor is gayer than the old Godzilla motors. Thanks, Osis Coyote. I appreciate that. A couple of bucks. Because I have to go on a rant because these fucking Mustang guys, I think Fox body guys are starting to be almost as annoying as Shelby guys. Because they're saying some of the dumbest shit. Look, it fits. Oh, it's 7.3 liters. It's a small... What the... What? So you want to make Coyote horsepower? You want to make Coyote horsepower, but with less... technology? Oh no, it's variable cam, Alex. Yeah, 1 variable cam. The fuck? Come on. Get out of that shit. That bullshit. Yeah, wow. Watch out, Alex's OGG. You gotta understand, these people are psycho with this Godzilla motor. I like it. I think it's very good for F-250s. Now, if you want to swap it eventually, that's fine. But don't start praising it at the next coming of Jesus Christ. The only guys that do or are praising it are people that have to write a favorable article, or they're leftover Fox body guys that hated the fact that the Ford ever went overhead cam. Plain and simple. Changed my mind. Changed my mind. No? Cool. Someone says, I'd rather have a 5.2 with a conventional crank. Hell yeah, dude. Could you imagine what a 5.2 or a stroker overhead cam Coyote would do? I understand there's some stroker kits out there, but could you imagine what a big inch Coyote can do? If a 302 can make 1,000, and our Blue Goose, John Senior's Blue Goose, made 1,400 rear wheel horsepower, 302 cubic inches. We're gonna just stop that technology and go back to cam and block shit? Come on. It's already out there. Ford Racing already has engines that make 500 NA horsepower. Well, it's not really Ford Racing and it's not a production block. Shut the fuck up. It's already out there. You are praising something that's already out there. You want 7.3 liters of big block gainers? Get a 460 from a Lincoln and put a cam in it and some heads. Probably about the same shit. Oh, it's not variable. Shut up. Exactly. Thank you, Senior. 1,644 rear wheel horsepower out of the Blue Goose at about 308 cubic inches. Fuck that. Fuck that. Hey, Senior, that's just whack. Let's just go back to 7.3 cam and block and 6,000 RPMs. Crazy. Kara G. There's a Kara in here? All the sausages and there's one Kara? I haven't seen it. Oh, shit. Beto 1105 says, I just got an 18 GT and I swapped the 13 manifold. Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? I hope that's a joke. I got an 18GT, swapped the 13 manifold, and I cut the exhaust up at the heads. How much power can I make on 87? You know what? I've heard some crazy shit like that too. I had a guy with a 15 Mustang say, "Hey Alex, I put an F-150 intake on it." I'm like, "Why'd you do that?" "Well, I saw a manifold test and it made more torque." "Yeah, and it stopped making it at 5,800 RPM." "Oh, can you tune it?" I'm like, okay. Alexander Cadell, what's up, brother? He said he's replacing his air raid intake with a 350 cold air intake, waiting on some parts to make it work. He got a deal on a used one, and ever since he's got his tune 2 weeks ago, I got worse gas mileage because it's miles per gallon. That's the other thing a lot of people tend to forget. When you get a tune, it's going to feel better, it's going to be zippy, and you're going to want to get on the gas. And then all of a sudden, you're going to go, whoa, what happened? Get off the gas, motherfucker. Jake Birch, do I need a tune to run a stock 18 cold air on my 17? Yes, it is bigger. You need to get it tuned. I did two today, which is cool. People are actually listening. Bara is better than the Godzilla. I love the Bara. I don't know why it's not over here, but the Bara is cool in theory. Straight six fucking turbo, make 800 on stock shit. That's nice. But it's going to get here. Eventually, that swap will become popular because I would rather Bara swap it than Godzilla swap it. Trust me, all day. Dark One says, shout out to Nickel White putting in some work with his new 410s and weight reduction. Still needs work to get to me, but he's flying. Still think he'd lose $100 Lund for the win. That'd be a good race. Dark One versus Nickel White in an 1/8 mile. I think Nickel White got you covered. 1/4 mile, I think you're going to get him if you guys can hit your shift points. Both badass drivers, though. Awaken Evil says, thanks, Alex and Lund Racing, for tuning my Gen 5 Whipple GT350. Made 760 horsepower on HPJs, dyno on pump gas. Badass shit, dude. And it's probably regular pump gas, not like boost-stained, juiced up pump gas, like, when Barry Bonds was hitting home runs out of Yankee Stadium, natural, natty bullshit. So a lot of people giving you pump gas numbers, but it's really pump gas with boost-stain, which is not pump gas. Like, when I say pump gas, it came out of the pump. It didn't come out of the pump and then meet boostane in the middle of the pump and then make its way down my tank. That is now not pump gas. That is now heavily, it has performance enhancing drugs in it. Imagine E85 on that setup. Excellent. Okay, make sure I didn't miss any questions. Looks like we're good, man. I've been keeping up good today. I've been averaging in the mid 700s. Thank you guys very much for that. Vato Zone happened, poor boy says. So let me get a couple questions here. Now, then I'll end it pretty soon. I don't want to stay over too long. I've been an hour and a half. Actually, it says about an hour and 20. So that's kind of when I start to trail off. And I have a hard time going to bed after this because I'm all amped up. And this Godzilla swap stupidity has just fucking made me go ape shit. My God. What advantages does a straight six have over a V8? RPM, it balanced better. It's basically straight up and down. Okay, so think of it as flat plane. So it's balanced better, RPM. So longevity, torque. I think it makes better torque because of the way it's designed. I think. Don't quote me on that, but it's about balancing. It's about longevity. It's about how mechanically it delivers the torque to the back. And I don't know. I just think it's a better design. Straight six cars, straight get it. The 2JZ is super popular for a reason. It's a super great designed engine from the factory. Just throw a bunch of boost at it, and it seems to be real happy. So do older Skylines. So I think it's a great layout. I just don't think you'll see it in the future anymore because it's long and it's hard to kind of make it fit compactly in something. But a Bara swapped Fox body, oh baby. Bara swap Fox body with 1,000 wheel. Cool sounding, Ford powered, be cool. But it'd probably be expensive. Mark says, 18 GT manual, Lund tune, budget, NA build. Thinking about going cheap, free-flowing exhaust. I love you for doing that. Saying free-flowing exhaust. And port manifold. Thoughts? Go maybe 500 real horsepower. That's going to be tough to get 500 real horsepower. No matter what any YouTuber tells you. That's going to be fucking tough to make 500 real horsepower on a dyno that's honest. You'll probably be in the 470 range, okay? But man, 500 is gonna be tough. You're gonna need badass fuel, headers. You're gonna need a lot of help to get there, brother. Hell yeah, brother. Ben Cuban gonna pay $1 to ask how to drive. Oh man, does Osis Coyote and Cuban Coyote knew each other? I mean, their last name's the same, Coyote. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna end it and make sure nothing pops in and start have to, going on another rant. I appreciate you guys for tuning in today, talking about the Fat GT500. If you go on my Teespring site, you'll see that I put up, the Snack Pack 2020 GT500 shirts up there for sale with them funky colors that the GT500s come in. If you want YDBT apparel, all that shit is up on the site. We should be able to, get you guys going because I know you guys wanted merch, so I did my best to get you merch. Okay, Shannon Dugan says, how often do you talk to Cletus McCousin fucker? Don't say that. He's a good guy. Why didn't he stay with the stock GT500 computer? Why did he go Holly? Because he's sponsored by Holly. So he's very smart. He went smart. Now, tuners like me and John Lund and Senior, we're going to be Junior, we're going to go stock computer because it's easier to control with drive-by-wire. But once he put a cable throttle body in it, Holly was the way to go, man. And he's sponsored by Holly, so he's not stupid. He knows who butters his bread. Jesus Christ. Dark One says, I'm going to run 6.8 in the 8th. He's 7.1 in the 8th. I have cams. He doesn't. That's the difference between, I don't know. Put you guys on the same track. I think it's a driver's race. Okay, let me get out of here. I'll talk to you guys later. See you next week.